Hey guys, welcome back to Shep Talk Movie Reviews. Today's movie is going to be The Current War. But before we get into that review, just a quick admin note. If you like what you see here, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel out greatly, and I truly appreciate it, guys. Now, let's get on to the review. Quick synopsis. Thomas Edison is trying to bring electricity to the country, but he has competition from someone named Westinghouse. So when I first saw this trailer, it had me very intrigued. I'm one of those people that do like movies based on true events or inspired by true events. Though I get it nowadays, you have to take these movies with a grain of salt. My whole thought process on these based on true events, inspired by true event movies are the fact that, one, I hope they are entertaining and I enjoy watching them, but two, that they pique my curiosity or the curiosity of the viewers to go out and research in depth more what really happened behind, with the facts that came with, the events. I'm just butchering that right now. But that's what, if it inspires curiosity with the people to go out there and do more research, to learn more about our history, I think it's always doing a good job, even though the movies take liberties with what really happened during that time. And one of the first things I want to talk about this movie is, oh my God, the actors in this movie kill it. You have Benedict Cumberbatch, you have Michael Shannon, you have Tom Holland, you have Nicholas Hoult. These guys are powerhouses in their own rights. They're great actors. They deliver great performances. But combine them in this movie, I think you have a really solid team. Benedict Cumberbatch plays Thomas Edison. Michael Shannon plays George Westinghouse. Nicholas Hoult plays Nikola Tesla. And Tom Holland, I can't remember the guy's name. He plays the secretary to Thomas Edison that later becomes, more like in the business world with Thomas Edison. And I'm sorry, I think it's Eustace was his first name. I can't remember. I'm sorry, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Tom Holland did really well in this movie. I think if nothing else, if I stopped with anything, saying that those guys really brought it. Like Nicholas Hoult, man, his take on Nikola Tesla was really well done. He played him. I thought that the foreigner immigrant coming to America with his extravagant styles and his futuristic ideals, it's just he embodied him perfectly. And just like everything that Michael Shannon does, he's really good, man. I love him as an actor because he kind of, I don't want to say he's a method actor, but he does kind of lose himself into that role where, because if you look at Michael Shannon as just a regular person, you don't think, it's like, oh, that guy's an actor, but how, not saying that he just has that face that you think you'd recognize throughout. And I guess with prosthetics and makeup and all that stuff, of course, you can lose yourself in that persona. And I think Michael Shannon does a great job with that. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch, we know he's a great actor as well. He kills it with Thomas Edison and his idiosyncrasies. Sorry. So if nothing else, just having that powerhouse acting quadruplet is just really great. They did a really well done job. And, I have nothing further to say on that one. The writing, I think, was really well done. It's selected on the time period of Thomas Edison first bringing direct current electricity to New York City and how he got started in that, and then expanding on to trying to get it into other cities in America. And at that point, Thomas Edison was supposed to have dinner with the Westinghouse family, but he decided he didn't want to stop anymore. He had already been at the White House talking to J.P. Morgan and also the president, and he was like, I just want to go home and get some rest. Well, Westinghouse felt the snub of that, and even supposedly feeling that snub, Westinghouse didn't really want to go into direct competition to Edison. But Edison had this ideal that direct current was the best current and alternating current, which was what Westinghouse went with, was not the safest, which we know alternating current is not the safest current, but direct current is pretty much the safest. But Edison didn't want to budge with that and didn't want to help Westinghouse come together and figure out how to make alternating current, even though it was better and cheaper in the long run. And that's what really bumped heads. What Westinghouse really wanted to do was combine forces with Edison, because Edison actually at that time had the patent on the light bulb, but that had, it was like, they called it like the impossible light bulb. Because imagine now, right? I got these bright lights going on up over here. We have the lights throughout our house. Before Edison's light bulbs were running around 10 minutes, 20 minutes tops. Edison comes along and makes a light bulb that lasts 13 hours. 13 hours. That is just crazy that the figure, in this day and age, if you wanted to use a light bulb in your house, you'd have to change it pretty much once a day. But, and he had the patent for that impossible light bulb. But, again, Edison didn't want to use AC, he wanted to use DC, and here starts the current wars. So Westinghouse, with his big business, is in competition against Edison, trying to figure out, how to, put AC throughout all the country and be in competition with Edison, pretty much. And I know the feud, I think they toned down this feud in this movie. Don't come at me with this because I don't really know too much, really. I've heard a little bit about the current war. I need to go back and research it now. But I want to say Edison, from all I can hear, was not the nicest of guys. I could be wrong, but I think he treated Tesla like shit. And I think he had, if he didn't think if Edison thought you weren't up to par, he really didn't respect you or have, time for you, kind of thing. So I really think this movie, I almost want to say it's kind of Disney-fied, where everybody seems to be gentlemanly with each other. It's like, oh, it's the late 1800s, guys. We're all together. Like Westinghouse is a businessman, but we really don't see that, the business is his family. And again, I want to research into Westinghouse to see if that's how he truly was, because he seemed to be like what we want capitalists to be today, where he's making his money, but he's also taking care of his people and not being, okay, the bottom dollar is all there is, and that he doesn't give a care about what he's doing to his employees. Because supposing Westinghouse as well had a 5-day work week. Again, this is why I like these inspired by true event movies, is because I like to see you get me interested in something, I'm going to go and start researching it, reading autobiographies as much as I can find. So expect that to happen. But I really think they toned down this feud. I think they kind of Disney-fied it, because I'm pretty sure that it was a lot harsher than what they portray in this movie. And some of the bad things I thought that the movie did was, there are points in this movie where it seems to slow down, like the director or the writers didn't know how exactly they wanted to transition from one scene or one storyline to the other. And it got me looking at my watch 1 or 2 times, especially towards the late middle to early third act. But it's not that big of a critique. It's just, it seemed like it was trying to figure out how it wanted to get to the finish line, and we didn't find, they didn't know right away how they wanted that done. And I think my second critique would be Nikola Tesla seemed to be, not a MacGuffin, but he seemed to pop in and out of the movie whenever the director needed him or the writers needed him. It'd be like, okay, here's Nikola Tesla coming across the sea. Here's Tesla working for Edison. Here's Tesla working on his own. Here's Tesla working with Westinghouse. And then Tesla's gone, kind of thing. And I want to say I think Tesla did more than that. I would like to believe he did more than that. Again, here comes the research to figure out if that's true or not. But I thought, I believe Tesla had a bigger role, and it kind of seemed like the movie wanted to focus on Edison and Westinghouse more than incorporate Tesla into that. But like I said, this movie really intrigued me. I thought it was really well done. I definitely need to go and look on Audible to see if there's any autobiographies or any great books about Tesla, Edison, and Westinghouse. If you know of any great books that I should pick up and read about Tesla, Westinghouse, or Edison, let me know in the comments below. Or if you know more about the history about these three guys and the current war and how it came to be. If the movie if the movie got it right in some areas, movie got it wrong in some areas, let me know down in the comments below. Because I am always willing to talk about history. I'm always willing to learn about new stuff that I hadn't really heard about before. But guys, with that being said, I think current war, I would give it 3 Sheps out of 5. It was good. I recommend seeing it in theaters. It did have, like I said, a little pacing issues, and I think they toned stuff down for the audience, and I think they could have used Nikola Tesla a little bit more in this movie, but it was a solid movie. I would recommend going to see it in the theaters, and I give it 3 out of 5 Sheps. Guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next review.